bookaholics, and welcome back to another video. Today I am bringing you my September TBR. September is the month of the magical readathon, so I am going to be participating in that. It is the readathon that I go most hardcore for, and I absolutely love doing it. Twice a year. I have been participating in it since before this new version of it, and I just think that this new version with Aurelium is absolutely amazing. This is also going to be where my character graduates from her course, so I'm super excited to be getting to these books. So I'm going to go through it in the way that magical readathon is set up. So you have a subject, and then you have like 3 difficulty levels, and depending on your chosen career, you will need to get different subjects and different levels depending on what is asked of you. Now, I basically try and do where all of the subjects that I have, I try and get to the hardest difficulty, even if that's not required. So even if out of the 3 levels, I only need the first level, I try and do all 3 levels of those subjects, because I do read more than that generally anyway. Also, contributing to the page count really helps with the ongoing page count tracker that we have going, that we've had this year. And then on top of that, I also really like being able to get like extra guild points that you can get, lots of things to do with like the in-world system that I really enjoy. So I do try my best to participate a little bit more than is like required of me. And the easiest way I can wrap my brain around that is just, yes, I have these subjects and I need to get to the highest level on all of them. So I will go through, I will tell you which books I am reading for what prompts, which prompts are essential, and which ones are just bonus ones that I'm adding on, and we'll go from there. I am planning on vlogging throughout all of September, so there will be 5 vlogs in total coming from this. There'll be a weekly one for each week, and then I also am going to be doing my spoiler vlog for my book club pick, which I will talk about in a moment. So without further ado, let's get into the actual books. And the first subject that I have is alchemy. And for the lowest level, which is O for ordinary, in alchemy, I need to read a book with a sun on the cover. This is a little bit of a stretch, but I think it still counts. I have Ashes of the Sun, which has this big red circle that I suspect is supposed to be symbolic of a sun. And then we have the word sun on the cover, which I think would also technically count. It doesn't say illustration of the sun on the cover, it just says sun on the cover, and it says the word. So I'm going to take this, and I am going to be therefore starting the Burning Blade and Silver Eye series by Django Wexler. This is a sci fantasy from what I have heard, and it is following 2 siblings, one who gets taken by this kind of group of ruling class people of some kind, and they train up this sibling to become a prodigy within this society. And the sibling that gets left behind kind of feels more like they have stolen the sibling, because the sibling didn't get a choice in going with these upper class people. Now, while they have benefited from it, the other sibling just feels as though they have had a family member ripped away from them and joins a rebellion against this society, thus ending in these siblings falling on opposite sides of the conflict. I'm very excited to be getting to this trilogy. I have heard really good things, and sci fantasy is a subgenre that I absolutely love, so I'm very, very excited to see how I feel about this one. The next prompt is Q, and that is to read a book with the cover in your birth flower color. My birth flower on the chart that G put up, because it varies, but the chart that G put up specifically, it is a Lily of the Valley, which is like a white kind of color. So I've gone with Blood of the Chosen. Yes, it's got the red on it, but it has also got a quite predominant amount of this white, so I feel like this will work, and it means I can then continue on with the series. As I've just told you what this is about, I don't need to reiterate, but this is the second book in the Burning Blade and Silver Eye series. Hopefully I will enjoy the whole trilogy. And the last one that I have for alchemy is an auto by author. This is an author that you are buying regardless of the synopsis of the book. Now, this is one that definitely applies for that. And this is also my sci-fi book club pick, the book that I will be doing a spoiler vlog for, and that is To Sleep in a Sea of Stars by Christopher Paolini. Since he's an auto by author, I don't actually know a huge amount about what this is about. I know that we are following a woman who is going to survey an uncolonized planet, and things go wrong from there. It looks like it's very intense, very in-depth. We've got a huge appendix at the end here, and a big glossary of like characters and places and things. So I'm very excited to get into it and see what Christopher Paolini's writing as an adult is like. While there is something to be said about the way that Aragon was written by a 15-year-old, I think for a 15-year-old, the level of complexity in that book was incredible. So seeing what him as a grown man writing this kind of story is going to look like, I'm very excited. It is very chunky, so if you don't fancy reading this within the month, don't worry about it. The vlog's going to be up. There is a chat up on my Discord, ready for whenever you want to join us in case you do at any point want to chat about it. Likewise, if you've just read it already and you want to see other people's thoughts, the Discord is always in the description down below. So I had to read all of those. I have to get a D in alchemy, but the next subject, which is spells and incantations, I actually only need a Q. So I actually only technically need to read the first 2 tiers, but I would very much like to read all 3. So for O, I had to roll a D6 and then pick a book in that bracket. So you would roll a D6 dice, which I have done here, and whatever number you get, say for example you get a 1, you read a book that is between 0 and 100 pages, and so on and so forth. I rolled a 6 because of course I did. So I needed to read a book that is between 501 and 600 pages. So I have chosen The Emperor of Ruin, which is the last book in the Burning Blade and Silver Eye, which is 504 pages. So I just managed to squeeze this in, but I didn't want to add another massive tome onto here, as well as the Christopher Paolini one and the rest of this series. So I was really glad that I was able to squeeze this one in for this prompt. But yes, that would be there for me reading the entire trilogy. For Q, it is to read a book that was released this year. This is one that I actually pre-ordered, and that is the Grimoire Grammar School Parent-Teacher Association by Caitlin Rozakis. This one just sounded like an absolute blast. It does sound so funny. It sounds like it's going to be quite poignant for parents as well, because it is someone who is a parent of a magical child trying to navigate this magical world. So think like your typical protagonist that you have in like a middle grade story from the parent's perspective. So I'm really, really excited to see how I feel about this. We've got really cool little like spreadsheets going on there. I absolutely love that Titan has started doing more of these where you get the cool edges on the books. But yeah, this one, it just says that we're following a woman whose child becomes a werewolf, and now she is part of this magical society, and she has to learn how to kind of be part of being a parent in this magical society. I'm very, very excited, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. And the last prompt, which again is the one that is not compulsory for me, is to read a book with an illustrated cover, i.e. no photos or just random designs. It's illustrated. So for this one, I have gone with In the Shadow of Their Dying by Michael R. Fletcher and Anna Smith Spark. Out of the books that are currently out, because she's got a couple books that are on their way, but ones that out of all of the books that are out by Anna Smith Spark, this is the only one I've not read. Granted, it's co-authored, but it's the only one I've not read. It is a very short novella. It's not very long at all. It is 100 and something pages, 172 pages. So I should fly through it, but we do have this illustrated cover. Yeah, this one, I don't know a huge amount about it because I picked it up because it's Anna Smith Spark, but it says, the third best assassin, a second-rate mercenary crew, one terrifying demon. As Sharam crumbles under siege, a mercenary crew hires an assassin to kill the king. For Tash, it's a chance at glory, to be the best blade in the dark Sharam has ever known. For Pitt, it is a way to get his cutthroat crew past the Thrasil siege and out of this hellhole, maybe even with some gold to their name. For Inar, the bound one, it's a dream of shadows and human blood. Grimdark fantasy. I love Anna Smith Spark. I was going to read it. For alchemy, I actually only need to read the first level, which is O, which is the 9th book you see on social media. Now, this was an awkward one for me because I came past several posts that had multiple books in them. So I counted until I got to the picture that would have had the 9th book. But since it was a book I neither owned nor was interested in reading, I just chose a book that I did own from that photo instead. Little tiny bit of a cheat, I suppose, but I'm not going to go buy a whole book that I don't want to read just because it's the 9th book on social media. So instead, I figured I would read one that I own, and that is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is a retelling of the Iliad from the perspective of Patroclus as Achilles' lover. I'm really excited to give this a go, but I keep putting it off. I keep not reading it. It's actually become a joke at this point because Circe is one of my favorite books of all time. So I then keep not reading this book. I don't know why. I don't know why my brain is doing that. So I'm really hoping that because it's for Magical Readathon and I need it for the prompt, and like it's literally this book, either that or I just do like a social media scroll again. But I need to try and get to this one. So hopefully this will be the push. And I have heard that it portrays Achilles as a bit of a dick, which I'm here for. I'm kind of here for Achilles not being the best thing since sliced bread. The next one is obviously not a compulsory one, but this one is a book with a portal, an arch, or a door on the cover. I've gone for Foul Days by Genevieve Dimova. There is a door. I didn't show it very well, but there's a door here on this building. It's not, I think, in the spirit of the prompt. I think it's supposed to be a lot more central, but there is a door. So it was one that I actually wanted to read. I didn't have to buy a book or anything. It was one that I already owned. So I figured, well, there is a door. It'll do. Because I looked through my shelves for quite a while to try and find this one. Looking for this book in particular ended up spiraling me into reorganizing my shelves, doing a massive unhaul, and also starting up a spreadsheet of books that I own. So, you know, it was productive search time, but also, you know, it means that then definitely needed to use this one or else I would have had to buy a book. So we've got this door on the side here, which I'm going to count, and we have Foul Days, which is Slavic inspired, I believe. And we are following a young woman who has escaped from her abusive ex-partner. And because he is this like all-powerful being, the only place that she can escape is into this magical land. And the way that she has gone about escaping the clutches of her ex is that she got tricked into handing over her shadow, which is the source of her powers. But that means that now she's getting sick. So now she needs to find a way to retrieve her shadow and also not get found by her abusive ex-partner. I'm very excited to give this a go. I have heard good things. It sounds like a topic that I would like, and I do really like Slavic folklore. And then for D, it was a weather one. So if it was sunny outside, you needed to read a book with even page numbers. And if it was cloudy outside or just not sunny outside, then it needed to be uneven numbers. And it was sunny outside because I'm in southern Spain, so it'll be sunny forever. I have picked up the Book of Phoenix by Nadia Okorafor. It seemed kind of fitting for sunny as well when we've got burning flames of hell on the cover, which is somewhat what the weather outside feels like right now. So this is appropriate. This one has 232 pages. Yeah, so the actual story ends on 232. So I picked this one up, and this is a prequel to one of my favorite books of all time, my favorite Nadia Okorafor book, which is Who Fears Death. So I figured that it made sense for me to pick this up. I don't actually know anything about this, nor do I want to. I want to go in blind and just enjoy my time with this because it's set in a world that I know I love, and I know that she goes hard with these themes. So I am excited to give it a go, but I don't need to know anything about it going in, which means that I'm really sorry, but I have no information to give you at all. And the last subject that I need to do, I do only need to complete the first two, but again, I will be trying to complete all three. So the first one, which is O, is a prime number of letters in the title. For this one, I have Tread of Angels by Rebecca Roanhorse, as it has 13 letters. This is one, it's a tiny little novella. Again, fantastic for Readathon novellas. They are absolute gems. This one is 160 pages. We're following two young women, one who grew up with their father in a privileged area, one who chose to stay with their mother in a less privileged area. However, when the less privileged sister ends up getting arrested for murder, the other sister goes out to try and clear their sister's name. This will be my first Rebecca Roanhorse book. I do own the Between Earth and Sky series, so I'm hoping to get to that at some point. But for now, I will be sampling her works with this novella. For Q is read a book with a vertical spine. I'm actually using one of the ones that Gia used in the example in the video. I am reading Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. It is a vertical spine, and this is one that I am excited to read. This is one that I had hoped to read when I was in Stratford, but I didn't want to take a book to England with me, like a physical book to England with me, knowing full well that I would be bringing books back with me. So I didn't in the end, but it is inspired by Shakespeare. It is following the life of his son Hamnet and his unfortunate demise that is not very well documented as to what exactly happened to him. Not in a suspicious way, just in a it happened 500 years ago kind of way. And yeah, I'm really excited to give this one a go and see how it portrays Shakespeare, because this is during the time period in which Shakespeare left for London and then his family stayed in Stratford upon Avon while he tried to make a name for himself. So I wonder if it's going to portray him in a less positive light than we usually see Shakespeare in. But I'm very excited to give this a go and see a different angle on a Shakespeare story. And then for D, which is the last tier out of the prompts, it is to read a book with an animal on the cover. My pre-order for Lessons in Magic and Disaster by Charlie Jane Anders is supposed to be coming in very soon. Should be here before the start of September. So I am hoping that I will be able to get to this one. It has moths on the cover. Moths and animals. Huzzah. I don't know a huge amount about this one either. It is one that I just bought because it's Charlie Jane Anders. So I will tell you what it's about in the vlog in which I read it. And the last thing that I have is the Year in ILDA prompt. So throughout the whole year, each month you get a different prompt for a book to read. So then by the end of the year, you've completed your adventure through ILDA. September prompt is to read the last book in a series. Now you can double up. So if need be, I can use the last book in the Binding Blade and Silver Eye series, but I figured instead I would read Monstrous Nights, which is the sequel and concluding novel in this duology that started with Foul Days. So that would mean that then I'm wrapping up the Witch's Compendium of Monsters and therefore last book in a series. Obviously, I've already talked about what this series is about. I don't know anything about book 2 because I haven't read book 1 yet, but I'm very excited to get to it. For anyone interested in how I am at least hoping to be structuring these vlogs, is I was going to do it by subject, but obviously slight wrench in the works is that I have To Sleep in a Sea of Stars, which I am doing a separate spoiler vlog for, so there was no point in also adding this into the other vlog. So we're going to have To Sleep in a Sea of Stars in a spoiler vlog that will be coming about midway through October, where I talk about this in depth. I will be doing it by part. This book is in 6 parts, so I will do spoilers for each part like I have done with previous books. That way you can either read along with me, you can read the book and then join, or simply watch it if it's not a book you're interested in reading. But throughout the month I am also going to be doing essentially weekly vlogs, and first off I am going to be binge reading the entire Binding Blade and Silver Eye trilogy, so that will be the first vlog. Then I will be reading hopefully these 3, which is In the Shadow of Their Dying, the Grimoire Grammar School Parent Teacher Association, and also the Book of the Phoenix. Then I'm going to go in a little bit more of a literary sphere, where I'm going to be reading Hamnet, The Song of Achilles, and Lessons in Magic and Disaster. Then I will conclude with the Witch's Compendium of Monsters duology and also Tread of Angels. So those would be the way I'm structuring my vlogs, in case you are interested, in case that incentivizes you to maybe follow along for this journey, and any other extra books that I might be able to squeeze in, because at the moment I have an entirely physical TBR. I might need an ebook or an audiobook. September tends to be quite a busy month, so they might get thrown into the works somewhere along the lines and I'll just use them for extra subjects. We shall see. But for now, this is where I'm at. These are the books that I'm planning on reading. So let me know if you do Magical Readathon. If not, what are you planning on reading for September? Let me know your thoughts on any of these books and which ones you are most excited for my thoughts on, and any recommendations based on these books that you have that you think I might also like. But that is all from me for today, so thank you ever so much for watching, and I will hopefully catch you in another one soon. Bye.